What's up, everyone? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks for Saturday, March 30th. Well, guys, we are full steam ahead with 22 free picks for you in this video from the top 5 European football leagues, and there is a parlay of the day included at the end of this video, so make sure you stay until the end, guys. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We do appreciate it a lot. And of course, feel free to leave a comment on any of these videos and I will be more than happy to answer any of the questions you might have. For my best bets, you can click the link in the description that will get you up to my page where you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, or even a month-long pass if that's something you want to do. I won't take much more time talking about this, guys. Like I said, we have 22 free picks for you in this video. We have some excellent games going on Saturday, so let's dig into it, guys, and let's get those winners together. As usual, we are gonna kick it off with the EPL, and the first game of the day is between Newcastle and West Ham. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time game, the first game of the day, and one thing is clear between these two teams: there's no defense between them right now. And in the head-to-head matchups, we have seen both teams scoring in the last 6 games in a row. Over 2.5 has sit in 4 of those 6 games, and I honestly think this is gonna be one of those games where we're gonna see a lot of chances and a lot of goals. Newcastle, as usual, has a lot of injured players, defenders, midfielders, attackers, whatnot. They have a lot of them, and they have a lot of depth problems as well. West Ham is coming off of a nice positive streak. They're undefeated in their last 3 games. However, they are struggling keeping a clean sheet, especially on the road. And with that in mind, guys, both teams to score an over 2.5 goals at minus 139. Bournemouth is hosting Everton in another EPL matchup, and I think this was going to be very interesting. Everton will try to get back on the winning track. They haven't won any of their last 8 games. They haven't lost many, I think like 4 maybe, but they are above the relegation zone, and the pressure is kind of off right now. But Bournemouth on the other side is undefeated in their last 3 games. They have been scoring a lot of goals as well, and they are looking fairly solid. We know that we had an international break, so we have to tread carefully. I would say that most of the teams will try to perform a little bit better defensively rather than diving into the offense right away. But in this game, guys, I see the over 2.5. It's minus 139. Usually in Everton games, the books don't expect a lot of goals, and the prices on the over in their games is around plus 100, plus 110 or so. But now at minus 139, I think that they are kind of expecting the over as well, and I will take it. Chelsea is hosting Burnley, who will try to get some points out of this game to give themselves a chance of staying in EPL. But they're playing against Chelsea right now, who scored 7 goals in their last 2 home games. They have been showing it up in the attacking end. However, defensively, they are still one big mess. Burnley is missing a few players because of the injuries, yes, but they're coming off of a 2-1 win against Brentford, and they will definitely try to do something in this game. With Chelsea being such a big favorite, we have to look at Burnley to get us some value out of this game, if I'm being honest. So uh, I decided to go with Burnley over 3.5 shots on target at plus 125. We know that Chelsea is not a great defensive team. They tend to make mistakes. They tend to lose focus on the defensive end. And I think that Burnley, in their current form, can do enough to give us those 4 shots on target that we need. Moving on, guys, we have Nottingham Forest playing against Crystal Palace. I think this is going to be a fairly even matchup, if I'm being honest. Nottingham Forest is looking to win some points to stay above the relegation zone. They have lost 4 of their last 5 games. They haven't beaten anyone in their last 5 games, but when playing at home, Nottingham Forest hasn't lost to Crystal Palace in any of their last 3 games. So there's something that could go their way, but Crystal Palace, with all their injuries and whatnot, they're still in a fairly decent form with only 1 loss of their last 5 games. And they have been improving quite a bit under the new head coach, Oliver Glasner. But in this game, I don't see how they can keep a clean sheet, to be honest. So I'm going with both teams to score at minus 125. Sheffield and Fulham is another matchup in the EPL, and I'm gonna keep this one simple, guys. Even though theoretically Sheffield still has a chance to stay in the league, it would take a miracle for that to happen. And defensively, they are the worst team in the league with 74 conceded goals in 28 games. On the other side, we have Fulham, who's been playing outstanding football. They have won 4 of their last 6 games. They have been scoring goals. They have been keeping clean sheets, defending fairly well, doing a decent job on the road as well. And when I consider all of that, guys, I'm not ready to take Fulham on the money line, but I do think they can score a couple of goals. So I'm taking Fulham team total over 1.5 goals at minus 143. Tottenham will be hosting Luton Town and they will be looking to bounce back after that unfortunate loss to Fulham 3-0 on the road, where they had a lot of chances but they just couldn't score the goal. While Luton Town on the other side, they are still playing decent football this season. They are the team that never gives up. They are the team that scored at least a goal in each of their last, what, 10 games in a row, 11, 12, maybe, even more than that. And that is the only thing that's keeping them above the relegation zone right now. Defensively, they are a mess. Let's be honest about it. They're not a good team. The only thing, like I said, that's keeping them up there is the fact that they are scoring a lot of goals, but they haven't won any of their last 9 games. They are playing against one of the most effective teams in the league right now. So for some value, guys, we have to look a little bit deeper, and that's why I decided to go with over 1.5 goals in the first half at minus 128. Aston Villa and Wolverhampton is another great matchup in the EPL on Saturday, and I think this is going to be a great game between two teams that have been in a great and consistent form so far this season. Wolverhampton still fighting to maybe try and give themselves a chance of getting to that Conference League spot, while Aston Villa is trying to stay in the top four, and for that to come through, they need a win out of this game. Both teams, like I said, have been consistent. They have been in a great form. They have been showing us a lot of offense. However, defensively, neither team is solid right now. At the start of the season, Aston Villa was absolutely outstanding on that defensive end. Now, that has way since, and they have been conceding goals quite consistently. So did Wolverhampton as well. Now, with all that in mind, guys, I decided to take shots on target in this one. Over 9.5 shots on target combined between both teams is minus 125. I think we're going to see a lot of offense here and not as much defense, and that should be enough for us to get these shots on target that we need. Brentford and Manchester United is the last game of the day in the EPL, and we have two teams on the exactly opposite sides of form. Brentford hasn't won any of their last 6 games. Manchester United has been improving. We know that they have beaten Liverpool in that FA Cup quarterfinal after overtime, which was definitely a huge confidence boost for them. Uh, and I don't know. I just don't see either side keeping a clean sheet right now. When I look at the injury report, uh, Harry Maguire listed as questionable, Johnny Evans listed as questionable, Casemiro is out, Diallo is out, Luke Shaw out, Martinez, Martial, and Malacia are all out for Manchester United. While Brentford is also missing 5 or 6 key players, and both teams will struggle with depth a little bit. But when you look at the bench players on both sides, I would say that Manchester United has a little bit more quality. And I think that should be the advantage to them. But like I said, I don't see them keeping a clean sheet because Brentford at home can definitely score goals. So both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. That's going to be my pick for this one. Off to Spanish La Liga, everyone, where we have Getafe hosting Sevilla in the first game of the day. And to keep it simple, guys, as soon as I saw this matchup, my thought was the cards. So I'm gonna go with over 5.5 cards at minus 115. I honestly think it's a coin flip game. Could go either way. Could go over 2.5. Could go under 2.5. But I think that the cards are the way to go in this one. And these two teams are not strangers to getting yellow and red cards, whoever they play against. And I think that of least they will be strangers here in this game as well. So over 5.5 cards at minus 115. Valencia is hosting Mallorca in another La Liga matchup, and Valencia has been doing a decent job this season. Yes, they are coming off of a loss against Villarreal 1-0, but there was an international break in between, and I would say that they worked on their defense, they worked on getting their spirits up, and they will try to get back on the winning track at home. The one thing, actually, one of many things that could go their way is the fact that Mallorca has won only one game on the road so far this season. Uh, on top of that, Mallorca is scoring less than a goal on average when playing on the road, while conceding 23 goals in 14 games. So, defensively, they are not good when playing on the road, and most of their good results are from their home games. And because of that, I decided to give Valencia the benefit of the doubt, and I will take Valencia on the money line. The last game of the day in LaLiga is between Barcelona and Las Palmas, and as we can see, Barcelona is minus 333 favorites. On some book, it's it's minus 400 as well, and they should be because they are on a three-game winning streak. They still have a few injured players, and they have a Champions League game against PSG next week. But they really can't afford to drop points now because that would mean a huge drop in the form. Losing game here would be a bad thing for the team, for the fans, and for everybody and around the team. And I think they will get a win here. However, we have to dig for some value. I don't think that we should force this one to over 2.5 because I wouldn't be surprised to see the other 2.5 hitting in this one. But I do see Lewandowski, who has been in great form for his national team and for Barcelona before the international break. I see him getting at least two shots on target. So I'm going to take Lewandowski over 1.5 shots on target at minus 125. Off to German Bundesliga, guys, where we have a decent slate of games, starting off with Leverkusen versus Hoffenheim. Leverkusen is still leading the charge. They will, in my opinion, win the title this season. They're still undefeated this season, dating back to last season when Xabi Alonso took over this team. They are doing well in the Europa League also. And overall, they are a fantastic team who is fairly healthy. All of their players are available to play, and their form is absolutely amazing. Hoffenheim, on the other side, is in the top 10 in Bundesliga, but defensively, they are a big mess, and they can't keep a clean sheet. They haven't kept a clean sheet in a long, long, long time. However, with Leverkusen being such a big favorite, that means we have to go with Leverkusen to win it over 3.5 goals to get some value. Take Leverkusen minus two or minus 2.5. And honestly, I'm not gonna do that because it's a bit risky, and I don't think the price is worth a shot. But if we turn our heads to Hoffenheim in this game, and they are getting Hoffenheim over 2.5 corners line at minus 120. I absolutely love this pick and I will take it. I honestly think this one could be one of my premium picks for the day. So Hoffenheim over 2.5 corners at minus 120. Borussia Mönchengladbach and Freiburg are two teams of a very similar quality, and Gladbach has been doing a decent job as of late. They have lost only one of their last six games, while Freiburg got destroyed by West Ham and Leverkusen as well. And I think that they are due for a nice performance. I believe they have a new head coach because the previous one resigned, and that should be a huge incentive to all the players who are usually on the bench to try to prove themselves to the head coach. And I think that Gladbach is due for a nice disappointing spot for them. Nice for us, not for them. And with that in mind, guys, I'm going to take Freiburg on the double chance at minus 143. Eintracht and Union Berlin is another interesting matchup in Bundesliga. I think that Union Berlin will be focused on defense in this one. Yes, they are on a two-game winning streak. However, they are playing their best football at home, and I think that Eintracht will have majority of the possession here. And they haven't lost to Union Berlin in any of their last four games at home, and they also have only one home loss so far this season. I think that everything is on Eintracht's side in this game. It's not going to be an easy game for them, definitely, but I think that they will create majority of the chances in this one, and I honestly would not be surprised if they get a win at home. So I'm going to go Eintracht over 4.5 shots on target at minus 120. I don't think that's a stretch. I think in the first half alone, they should get at least two or three shots on target, if not more, because Union Berlin will let them have the ball and they will let them create a decent amount of chances. So Eintracht over 4.5 shots on target at minus 120. Leipzig is hosting Mainz in another Bundesliga matchup, and this is a must-win game for them, especially because Dortmund is playing against Bayern, and Leipzig and Dortmund are two of the main competitors for that fourth place that will get them into the Champions League. Mainz has had some positive results as of late, but on the road they're still winless. They have six draws and seven losses, while Leipzig is now undefeated in their last four games, and so far at home this season, they have scored 32 goals while conceding only 10. That's an average of almost two and a half scored goals per game. Now, I also think this is going to be a game with a lot of chances, mostly on Mainz's side. I think that they will be forced to defend a lot, but I think they will try to do something in the first 10, 15 minutes of a game to give themselves a chance of getting a point out of this game. So I think we're going to see a lot of offense, and with that, I think we're going to see a lot of corners. So I decided to go with over four and a half corners in the first half at minus 128. I think that even the total corners over nine and a half, I think the line is set. Should be a decent pick for this one. But over four and a half quarters in the first half at minus 128, I think that's going to be a slam dunk for this game. Werder Bremen is hosting Wolfsburg, who is also being led by the new head coach, Ralph Hasenhüttl, who used to be Southampton's coach last season and the season before. And they will try to get back on the winning track. The series of bad results cost Niko Kovac his job as the head coach in Wolfsburg, and they haven't beaten anyone in their last 10 games. And it's quite understandable that they fired their head coach. And I think this is going to be a bit of a positive shock for Wolfsburg. Werder Bremen is also on a four-game losing streak, and that's nothing strange for them. They often fell into this bad groove, and they have a series of bad results. But fortunately for them, they are way above the relegation zone right now, so there's not as much pressure as we saw in the previous season. But as far as this game goes, I'm gonna go with Wolfsburg on the money line at plus 140. I think that the new head coach will have a huge impact on the players, on the team, and they will start by improving their defense first and then focus on the offense. And that is the way to go if you're the new head coach. First thing you have to do is stop conceding goals and then try and start scoring goals. We know that they can do it and they will do it. And I think it will start in this game. So I'm taking Wolfsburg on the money line. Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, their Klassiker in Germany, the biggest derby, the biggest game in Germany, and it's going to be a good one. Both teams have some injuries right now. Not many, but there could be some key injuries like Manuel Neuer, who will be absent for Bayern Munich in this game, and that is definitely going to be a huge blow. But luckily for them, they are on a five-game streak without a loss. They have scored a bunch of goals in those five games. So in just their last two games, they've scored 13 goals. They have scored five more in the previous two games, so 18 goals in their last four games. They have demolished Lazio in that Champions League matchup. They have qualified for the quarterfinals, and I think that they are in good form right now, and that should give us a good game. When playing at home, they haven't lost to Dortmund in their last seven games. However, the over two and a half and both teams scoring has been hitting more often than not in this game. The over three and a half is listed as minus 148 or something like that, which is insane. The over one and a half goals in the first half is like minus 150 or something like that. So we have to dig for some value here in this game, guys. Borussia Dortmund is also in great form. They're fighting for that top four. And like I said, both teams score and over two and a half has been hitting more often than not in this matchup. And because of that, guys, I'm going to take both teams to score in the first half at plus 180. Even that is not that great of a price. It's plus 180. Usually you would see that at around plus 250, plus 300, depending on the game. But plus 180, you can kind of tell that the books are expecting it. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that hit by the 30th minute. So Bayern versus Borussia Dortmund, both teams to score in the first half at plus 180. In the Italian Serie A, guys, we have a few interesting matchups, and we are gonna kick it off with this game between Napoli and Atalanta. As soon as I saw this one, guys, both teams to score came to mind. Neither side can keep a clean sheet right now, but they can definitely both score goals, and they have both been in a decent form. Apart from that game that Napoli lost in the Champions League to Barcelona, so without thinking too much into it, guys, both teams to score minus 154. That's gonna be my pick for this one. Lazio is hosting Juventus in the second pick of the Italian Serie A, and I'm going to keep this one very simple. Juventus has no offense right now. They haven't scored a goal against Genoa. Vlahovic is suspended. Milik is injured. And I know that those are not the only two strikers they have, but this is going to be a huge game for them. I don't think they can win it, to be honest. Lazio is coming into this one after a nice win to Frosinone 3-2 on the road, and they have a new coach, Igor Tudor, who is a former Marseille coach. We all know what he did with Marseille. We all know that he made them one of the best teams in France. He made them incredibly effective. He made them play a incredibly attractive football. They were dangerous. They were calm. They were solid defensively. And because they have a new coach, I also think this is going to be a nice positive shock for this team. Everybody's looking forward to it. I think that the Italian journalists are quite impressed with Igor Tudor as well, and he will introduce some new things to this Lazio team. And with that in mind, guys, I'm gonna take Lazio on the money line plus 210. The last game of the day is Serie A is between Fiorentina and Milan. Fiorentina very solid when it comes to scoring goals at home. Milan not as good as not as good in defending when playing on their own. They have conceded 25 goals in 15 games while scoring 32 in those 15 games. Uh, Fiorentina conceding over a goal on average when playing at home, scored 26 in 14. Everything is pointing towards both teams to score in this one. And I'm going to take it. It's minus 139. I think it's a great pick. Both teams have a few injuries on that defensive end, and that should only make this pick hit that much easier. So both teams to score at minus 139. And the last two picks before we move on to the parlay of the day in the French League One, guys. We have Metz against Monaco. Metz, not a great team, if I'm being honest. I believe they're close to the bottom of the table. Let me just pull up my stats here. Okay, here it is. Metz versus Monaco. Yeah, Metz is in 17th place, 23 points so far this season. They have conceded 39 goals in 26 games. They're not conceding a lot at home, but they are still conceding more than one goal on average. And the fact is that Monaco is scoring 2 goals on average when playing on the road. So to keep it simple, guys, Monaco team total over 1.5 goals at minus 154. That's going to be my pick for this one. And the last pick of this video before the parlay of the day is between Lyon and Reims. Two solid teams, two teams in a solid form. Lyon in 10th place, Reims in 9th place. 5 wins out of their last 6 games for Lyon. However, they haven't kept a lot of clean sheets during that streak. Only one actually made that two, and that was against Lorient on the road and against Nice at home. Reims on the other side is a solid team when it comes to scoring goals as well, and they tend to play a very attractive and offensive football. They are missing a few players because of the injuries and suspensions. They have conceded 20 goals in 13 games on the road, while Lyon has conceded 22 goals in 13 home games. So this is gonna be another game with both teams to score, guys. And this one is listed as minus 161. And we are up to the parlay of the day, everyone. It's a nice five-legger, pays on at plus 343. I'm taking Tottenham team total over 1.5 goals. I'm taking Barcelona on the money line. I'm taking both teams to score in Fiorentina and Milan. I'm taking over 2.5 goals in Bayern versus Borussia Dortmund. And I'm taking over 2.5 goals in Leverkusen versus Hoffenheim. Like I said, guys, nice five-legger pays on at plus 343. I have a feeling it's going to be a great day for us, guys. We are at the full power. Lots of free picks, lots of games. Check out those MLS picks as well. We have 13 games on the schedule this Saturday, guys. And it's going to be an interesting evening as well. That's it, guys. Good luck with all of your bets. Enjoy your Saturday, and I'll see you soon with more free picks.